What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to TWR. My name is Tavian, and this is my world of reptiles, and I hope you are all doing awesome and taking care of yourselves. So today, I want to introduce somebody or a creature that is visiting the TWR world. Now, this animal was brought into our store, our local store that I work at here in town, and it was we were asked to watch it for an extended period of time. I don't really know how long, but we were asked to watch it for an extended period of time. I don't remember the details exactly why we were watching it for this long, but we are. Now, when this animal originally came to us, it was not in good shape. I'm going to show it to you now and talk to you a little bit about what that was like when he first got here as compared to what he's looking like now. But let me go ahead and introduce you to Juicy the water dragon. Alright, so this here is Juicy, the water dragon that we are sitting. Now, when Juicy first came to us, he was in really rough shape. You can see from looking at him that he's not in the best shape. You can see how his bones are protruding here around the hips. You can see that his legs are way wonky. They're definitely not shaped the way they should be, as well as, and I'm not seeing it from this side, so let me go ahead and pull him out so I can show you in more detail what I'm want to show you. Hold on. All right, so you can see that Juicy has got like a something deformed on his mouth. It's You can see his teeth are like jutted out, like his jawbone and everything are like on the outside. They're like off center, and just doesn't look well. It's just that it's a deformity, and it was apparently, come on, focus. Oh, we're too close. Too close. All right. And so, anyway, it was apparently something that he was born with. Oh, same thing, I'm guessing, with the legs as well, that these were all just deformities that he was born with. But yeah, when he first came in, he was way, like this part of his body was super sunken in. He was super lethargic. He looked like he was just on death's door. And they were trying different things. There was we ended up eventually they got him on some medication where it was like an orally given medication that was a 10-day treatment of somewhat, which did seem to help a little bit, but we did have to do a little bit more as well to try to get him back to where he needed to be, because like I said, he was literally on death's door. He was not nearly that active. He barely moved at all. And we had him in this enclosure. Well, they brought him in something significantly smaller. We put him in this one, and what we did have substrate in it, but I was the one who was going in every morning, and I was the one giving the medication as well as trying to perk him back up to life. And one thing that I was noticing was, with his mouth being the way that it is, the substrate would just kind of get all up in there when he was trying to eat, when he would try to chase stuff down, or even just moving around. It would just cake all around his mouth, and then by the time I got in the next morning, it was practically like glued. It was like he couldn't open his mouth. I couldn't open his mouth. I couldn't get medicine in. I couldn't do anything. So which we were already doing, we were doing a 30-minute daily soaks. And so what that ended up having to be is that he needed to get that soak before anything else happened, because he couldn't get his mouth open before that. And so when I got him home, I took him off of that, which I'll get to in a little bit. But so we were giving him that medication. So one thing that I was doing to really help him with that was I was using this here. Now, this is a meat pie, and it's that stuff you would usually make into like a gel. It's like where you can kind of cut it, turns into a solid. You can cut it and give it to it in chunks. But because he couldn't open his mouth, and he was so weak and so lethargic, and that mouth deformity was causing so many issues, I just watered this down, like really watered it down with normal temperatured water. And I would water it down, mix in a little bit of this in it as well to help get that appetite stimulation going, giving him a little bit more energy, because he was just, like I said, just super lethargic and not moving at all. So I would mix that in with it, as well as putting in a little bit of calcium, just to help with that, because, like I said, with the bones on his legs and everything, I definitely feel like there was definitely some calcium deficiency happening, that could just any extra little bit of calcium as well to help with that, because he was super weak, and if he's going to heal and survive, survive, then he needed to get some calcium to help him build those bone muscles up. Now, honestly, I swear, I'm not gonna lie. When he first showed up at the store with the way that he looked, my first thought was like, this animal probably shouldn't have been euthanized. I'm not gonna lie. And but they wanted to give him his best shot. Obviously, they're no, I mean, we don't own the animal, so it was not our call. They wanted to give him everything that they could to give him the best chance of life, and so we have just been working with him. Ultimately, I did decide though that he should probably come home with somebody because he needed more than just that, once a day kind of care. He needed regular amounts of care. He needed a couple of like soakings at least 2 times a day. He also needed to be fed multiple times a day because I was doing the syringe feeding, and I would give him maybe 2 or 3 syringes of that in the morning. But I think even doing more than that was necessary. So I ended up bringing him home, and he's been with me for a couple of days. Now, like I said, first thing I did was take him off of those paper towels, the substrate, and I put him on paper towels. I'm getting ready to do a whole new clean thing because it's been like 2, 3 days. I'm gonna clean this all out and put some fresh stuff in, get everything clean. But I took him off that, put him on the paper towels, and that seemed to really help. That means he doesn't have any caked up mouth. He's able to actually open his mouth up, and properly eat. And I actually was actually able to get him to eat a dubia roach, which he did pretty good at. And I tried to do that after, because I put this log in. I'm scattered brain. Sorry about that. I put this log in, and there must have been a cricket in it because it was in there. And I watched him literally after soaking. I put him in, and he chased the cricket down, and he caught it. He opened his mouth, and he caught it. So I have been doing tongue feedings with little dubia roaches, which he does do good at, but they have to be kind of small because he can't quite open his mouth and crunch as hard as he needs to. And dubia roaches do have a little bit of a harder exoskeleton, so crickets do seem a little bit better with how easily he eats them, but he has been eating dubias off of the tongs. And so I did continue to do the syringe feeding for a couple more mornings after he got here, or for a couple more days after he got here, because I did it multiple times throughout the day. But now I have been shifting him slowly, mostly onto actually feeding him off of the tongs, and getting some actual full body nutrition into him. And he is looking really good. I mean, compared to how he looked when he first got here, I'm gonna hope I can get a picture. So I think somebody may have taken a picture when he first got here. If so, I'll try to put that in. But either way, he's looking really good. Like this part of his body that was really sunken in is definitely starting to protrude out. He's getting some foundation to his legs. He's getting thicker. His tail is starting to get a little bit more weight to it. And I'm gonna be super excited when I stop seeing those bones being so protruded out. But it's just going to take time. It's going to go slow. And even though, like I said, I initially thought that this animal probably should have been euthanized if he was born with all of these issues. But he's thriving now, and at this point, he deserves the best chance at life. Now, what I think really needs to happen soon, I'm not really sure what's holding up with that. I'm not sure if there was a conversation about it yet, but for his owners to talk about getting surgery on that mouth. Now, maybe the reason the surgery hasn't been done yet is because it was a matter of just seeing if he would survive, if they can get him to get some strength to him, to get him building up, getting him eating on his own, getting him looking like he's actually going to survive. Otherwise, investing several, probably, could be $1,000, maybe more, in a surgery to fix that jaw is, I can understand the hesitation on doing that if you don't know the animal's even going to survive. But he is getting better now, and as soon as I'm feeling like he is at peak weight, I definitely want to see if we can make contact with the owners again and talk about getting that mouth fixed, because it is a thing. When I'm trying to work with it, it does get snagged, and when it gets snagged, it starts bleeding, and I'm sure it's not helping the healing process and the growing process and the development of those bones as they should be doing. So I don't know what that surgery will look like, but I definitely think he needs it. And so this enclosure, I know that there's probably going to be somebody out there like, oh, this enclosure needs to be better. It should be better. You're right. But with his deformities, and all of his special needs. I need to keep him in a smaller enclosure with a simplistic setup so that I can monitor his bowel movements, his own movements, how much he's eating, how he's eating, if he's able to chase the food down, or if he's not able to do that. He does have a deep water, like a water bowl there. He can get. I've seen him put himself in it, and so this is, for all intents and purposes, a nursery enclosure. It is just meant to hold him over while he is with me, as well as while he is in this process of just kind of healing through his born defects, you know? Now, I need to do something about this towel that I have wrapped around the outside. I'm gonna go to the Dollar Tree and get like one of those like Jor, the stick on print stuff or whatever, and kind of wrap around the outside. And I have that because water dragons are really prone to getting just kind of just doing a lot of face bashing and trying to get through the glass if they can see out the glass. So it's important usually to have them in more of an fully enclosed enclosure with just like a glass front rather than having it all open in the outside, because with his mouth deformity, this is the last thing he needs to do is go ahead and bash himself so bad that like he gets more damage than he already is. So I have that towel wrapped around there for now, but I will put something more permanent on there in the meantime. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's looking great. He's got so much more energy than he did when he first got here. Like literally, y'all, he just like laid on the things. He barely, like, you would put him on there and he'd like flop off to the side. Like he had no energy. He was not functioning very well at all. I definitely had high concerns about his health. I was not sure if he would even make it. And I would have been really sucked for him to die in our care. But we were going to give them the best care that we could while he was with us, regardless of our feelings about it. And he's coming along and he's looking great. And hopefully that mouth can get fixed as soon as he is at peak condition and his owners are willing to step in and be like, all right, let's financially get this taken care of so we can get you, my animal, properly taken care of and give him an even better life. I think once that is taken care of, he will be so much better off. I mean, he's doing great now. He's coming a long way. The appetite stimulation, like the extra calcium, doing the oral feeding with just a syringe really helped kickstart him off. And now he's at the point where he's eating on his own, and that is absolutely amazing. It's been a fantastic journey actually watching it, because lighting, sorry about that. Because like I said, I didn't think he was going to really survive. I was thoroughly concerned about him, but he is coming along and he's really an amazing success story. And I look forward to seeing what his future looks like. And I really hope that whatever happens with his current owners, whenever they get him back, that they do address that much needed issue with the jaw. The legs, their deformity, I don't think they will ever go away, but they will get stronger with time as he gains weight. And as he continues to get the proper calcium and UV that he needs, those legs will get a little bit stronger, well, significantly stronger, even though they will forever look wonky and deformed like that. But the mouth itself is definitely one that I don't want him to have to live with for the rest of his life. He shouldn't have to. It is something that can be fixed with surgery. So if he's going to bounce back and have a full life, I would love to see that taken care of. I love this guy. He's lively. When I reach in, he gets to fly and run, and he's super fast, and that makes me feel so good. I mean, as fast as he is, and it's not easy to hold him when he's just going, but that's good sign because when he first was here, he didn't move at all, and so for him to be like really taking off and flying and just being super runny, and getting really energetic, that's a good sign. I think he could have a really good life if everything is just taken care of the way it needs to. Like if he gets surgery needed to fix that jaw, and if he continues to get the food he needs and the calcium he needs and the health he needs, he's going to be great. So he's here now and he's going to be with us for a while. So you will see him again and maybe some little short clips. Maybe I'll do a full on video about actual water dragons and their actual care, not when they're in a more like medical setup, but if you were to actually keep a healthy, regular water dragon and do a video on them as well. But yeah, I just wanted to take the time to introduce this guy. He's here. He's going to be with us for a little while. I don't know how long, but as long as is needed, I will be taking care of him, and I will make sure that he is getting all the health he needs, and he's going to be growing into a beautiful and strong little water dragon. So That's all today. I'm gonna wrap it up. Y'all take care. Love yourselves. Love your loved ones. Love your reptiles. And you all keep spreading those herbs.